Good afternoon. Welcome to a parking lot. I'm in St. Louis. I had to think there for a second. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. Worked in a coffee shop this morning, and I'm feeling a little bit less stable, I think. It's kind of funny because I live in a van. Um, yeah, I wanted to talk about this, and I think more than anything, I just need to process all of the things in my mind right now. So basically, if you've followed the last like 2 days, I ended up deploying my changes to my software. Got the new feature working, but in doing so, what I also did was one of the pieces of feedback I got was that it's right now I have like a 60 to 90 day time frame on like analyzing videos from channels, and that constraint makes it easier for using less quota, and it also is faster, and it's better for like what's happening right now. But one of the pieces of feedback I got was that there are a lot of videos from years ago and more than 60 to 90 days that would be useful as inspirations for new videos. And so basically, the idea being get rid of the constraint of 60 to 90 days and analyze videos from all time, basically. And so I kind of lumped that into this feature that I just pushed up. Um, the problem is, as I said, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, it takes like 4 times as long, maybe even longer. I mean, it takes like 20 plus minutes to analyze all of the channels in a creator's niche and analyze all of their videos for outlier videos and present those channels to the user. And I think from a UI UX perspective, it's just not acceptable. Like I just can't have someone hit like go, press start and then have to wait 25 minutes for their, sitting sitting in front of their laptop like any day now. Um and so when you layer onto this the fact that I'm still waiting for the YouTube API team to increase my quota, and I was skirting their terms of service because basically you get 10,000 quota units per day on one project. And I made it so that, um, well, for context, one like search analysis is, I think it was like 14,000 quota. So basically what I did in the early stages of this is you get like 25 projects in the Google Cloud platform. So I made multiple projects. So I had more than 10,000 quota per day, and then just like basically string them together. But that violates their terms of service. And so in auditing my API client, they were like, this violates terms of service. Like, you can only have one project per client, which is okay if the quota is approved, because then I'll have 300,000 quota on just one project. And so it's like, great, that's fine. But what happens between suspending all of the other projects and the time it takes to approve the new application. So I will not confirm nor deny what I've done in the meantime. But I'm like, I'm even more restricted than I was previously. And at the same time, I I'm adding more value and complexity, and I don't know what the other word is. Like I'm analyzing more. I removed the constraint of 90 days, so now I'm searching for all videos for each channel, which uses up more quota. Which now my original application for the quota application, like my use case has changed. It's like no longer is it 60 to 90 days. It's now all videos. And so if my application had been approved in a week, or, 1 to 2 weeks, like the last site that I made, then this would not have been a problem. But now it's a problem because my use case has changed, which means my search calculations and quota calculations per user is now probably doubled to tripled. And so in order to handle the same amount of users, like I need even more quota. So I probably need like at least 700,000 quota per day. But like the first use case, like, anyway, I think you get what I'm talking about. So anyway, there's that. It's like I'm trying to build, add more value, and scale when I'm still waiting for like the use case that I had 6 weeks ago to get approved. And a lot can change in 6 weeks. So there's that I'm trying to wrestle with. And so there's the quota constraint, and then there's also the fact that now search results take like 4 times as long, which I don't like from a UI perspective for users. And so I'm trying to figure out like, okay, I can pre-run the results on all of the users that are currently using it, but I can't do that because I will run out of quota. And so then anyone who tries to use it during the day will no longer, like, it just won't function, And so I pre-ran the results on a couple users today, and then I have to do a couple more users tomorrow, and then the next thing that I'm working on is more video results to search through, like basically finding and collecting outlier videos, YouTube videos, and collecting those and presenting them to the user. But again, from all time, not from the last 60 to 90 days. So that obviously takes a lot of calculation and quota. And I've got a background job, which I'm proud of now, that is every hour making searches and collecting channels, which I like. That's freaking awesome. It's super cool. And then every night it picks channels and analyzes them and looks for outlier videos. And so like I have the things in place. I just can't scale them up right now. And so I'm trying to what I'm adding next is like like outlier collection basically. And one of the other pieces of feedback that I got from a user was there's a competitor product that does this really well right now, They charge 49 bucks a month or 350 a year. Uh, Again, I very much like this pricing. Um, and he was like, "Yeah, it's too expensive for me for like what I would use it for, and so I just do it manually." But he was like, "If you can build their site basically into your site, like I would use it right now." And I was like, "Oh, okay, like let me just build their entire site as a feature on my software." And so I'm gonna do it. um and yeah, so this morning I went through and I was like, okay, what are all of the features here? It's not that complicated, you know? And I know I can do it, and I've already built like I already have like the platform of my software built. I just need to like add a couple things, make sure stuff is formatted correctly, and then it just comes down to the constraint of needing more data. And once I get more quota, I just scale up what I already have. Um, so I'm very excited for where this is going and the potential. And it's like, wait, this guy's charging 50 bucks a month. He has a bunch of users. They have 8,000 followers on X, on Twitter. And I see them like blasting posts on X, new features, and people are commenting underneath. And I'm like, half very excited because I know I'm building with a different lens that has a different value add than they are. So I think I can provide more value than them. But at the same time, I'm like, this is literally my competitor now. Like, I want to take the people that are subscribed to their service and get them subscribed to my service. And so now it's like a competition in a very real sense. And so I had this like, as I was looking through their Twitter posts, and it reminded me that I think I'm gonna get back on Twitter and posting and like building in public. I think that's a good marketing strategy for me. But again, it's like a lot of this is just resting on I need to get more quota, because right now I can only handle users if I like one-to-one reach out to them. Like I just can't have more people because I'm just waiting for the gods, the YouTube gods, to approve me. So yeah, it sucks, but I'm trying to like do stuff in the meantime and not just wait. Because if I just waited, it would have been 5 weeks, 6 weeks of just waiting up until now, and I've already done a lot in that meantime. But anyway, yeah, thinking about getting back onto Twitter and building in public. But as I was like scrolling through, I had this like sinking feeling in my stomach, because it's like they're doing basically what I'm trying to do, and I am doing. And again, I'm not building the same thing. I'm integrating their thing into mine. But fundamentally, like we're tackling the same problem a little bit differently. I like my spin more. I think I as a creator would use my software over theirs if mine had the same, essentially same functionality as theirs. I would prefer mine over theirs. The big thing is personalization. I have leaned on that hard and want to, I think, continue to lean on that hard. And I think that can be the value that I add to the marketplace because nobody has anything personalized. And there's nothing personalized about this other competing software. So, yeah. But it's like, it's just, I feel like a dog on a leash, you know? It's like, get me out of here. Like, I want to scale this up. So, anyway. Yeah. The other thing I saw was it's built by two guys. One is this was also contributing to this sinking feeling. The guys that are making it, one of them is a ex Microsoft AI engineer, and which I was like, hashtag also at Microsoft. The other guy was a YouTube strategist for Mr. Beast, and I'm like, okay, this is my competition. The strategist behind the guy with almost either the most or almost the most subscribers on the entire platform, and an AI engineer from Microsoft. Which again, I can compete with that because I also worked at Microsoft. I wasn't an AI engineer, but I can compete with half of their team. So anyway, I'm a dog on a leash, just trying to make the most of this. And then this morning, as I was driving to the coffee shop, I was like, so they said it's pending. My application is pending with leadership. What does that mean? Like, and then I started like overanalyze and think, read between the lines. Like, does that mean that leadership is looking at it and they flagged it because maybe what I'm doing is like different, and they needed to check my use case because of like the things that I'm doing and adding on top of just the data that I'm pulling from the YouTube API. And so like maybe leadership is like, this other thing that you're doing is like, you're the first person to do this, and like we can't have that. That's, breaking our terms of service. Like we're not allowing that. And like, well, then what? I was driving here. I was like, do I have a plan B here? Like, what if the YouTube, what if leadership is like, actually, no, you are not approved, and you can't do this. And I was like, because I'm at the mercy of one platform, one API right now. Right now, once I scale it up, I can diversify, but I need to get somewhere. And I'm like, do I have a plan B here? And the answer is not really. The answer is not really. But see, okay. In my defense, I think the case where they come back, I'll take the way you're presenting some of this data breaks our terms of service. Like, as long as you just you get rid of this and you format this in a more clear way, or you like add instructions that, like, I'll take that. I can do that. Fine. But the other thing is, there are other platforms and other softwares out here that are basically doing the same thing that I'm doing. And so I'm like, there's no way this other competing product is using 10,000 quota per day. Like, there's no shot. So they must have gotten audited by the API team and gotten their quota increased. And there's also vidIQ. I will name that one. And they are like a large player in this space. And I'm pretty much doing a lot of what they're doing as well. And so it's like, okay, well, if they're doing it, then like I can do it too, So that gives me a little bit more confidence that they're not going to just like out of the blue be like, oh, actually, sorry, you're banned. I think the most realistic chance or the most realistic downside here is that they are like, oh yeah, some of the metrics that you're showing are not what we like or whatever. So anyway, oh, I think I'll have one more day tomorrow, one more work session tomorrow, and then um, gonna stay with my cousin for maybe a day or two, and then head to head to a redacted city that I won't mention. I will show you where I go. I can't spoil it, you know. How are you gonna like and subscribe? Anyway, um, if you made it this far, thank you for listening to my ramble. I actually feel a lot better. Um, Still anxious because of the uncertainty, and also trying to figure out like, because I think in my API application, my quota application, I was like, yeah, you know, I want to handle 25 users a day or whatever, and like over the next 6 weeks, just like limited beta, um, and that seems like a reasonable amount for like limited beta, and then we'll go from there. I was like, I feel like that's an easy sell. Well, it's been 6 weeks. uh, so anyway, I'm like, I they might approve, and then I might just submit another application for more quota like the next day. It's like, hey, I'm back. It's me again. Yeah, that guy. I need more quota. So anyway, trying to make the most of it, but yeah, I'm trying to see like the upsides in constraints. You know, it's like, okay, well, you have constraints, so get creative. Like you can't use all this quota, so how are you going to do it? Cache data, cache stuff, and save data, and do stuff in the background. Like it's presenting new ideas for how to get around these constraints. I think there's something about creativity flourishing from constraints. So anyway, I might call it there. Got 4 hours, another 4 hours to crush to Kansas City. And then we'll find another coffee shop. See you tomorrow.